pissed off Kensington TB800 EQ trackball users. They are complaining that it is a fact that between the 10 and 2 p.m. position, in a zone about like right here, circumscribed about right here, there is a dead zone of non-response. The cursor does not move laterally. So if you use any finger and try to, if you're between that 10 and 2 o'clock position, approximate position is if that's the center line of the ball, if you're beyond the halfway point. So like if you're right here, as you can see, it moves laterally. But if you're here, it does not move laterally. It just moves up and down. And that occurs at 11 o'clock, at 1 o'clock, at 10 o'clock, at 2 o'clock, but not at 9 o'clock and not at 3 o'clock. So that is the circumscribed dead zone. That is the flaw in the Kensington mouse. It is apparently because the sensor is placed right there at 12 o'clock, 4 or 5 millimeters, right above that central dust clearance hole. So a bunch of people noticed that, but I have had no problems at all with it because I feel like I use the trackball in the normal way. Now, because trackballs and mice in general are such subjective and personal things, if no one can say that somebody is using a mouse or trackball incorrectly, but the way I use it, like there, in what I feel is my ergonomic position, in the way that I feel that a normal human being would use a trackball. I mean, what is the value of having a mouse ball so that you can use a large part of your palm for ergonomic reasons and to avoid repetitive stress injuries? Not using just a single finger, but 3. And as you can see, when I use it like that, the cursor moves absolutely normally. That's why at first I didn't understand what they were talking about. The axis of movement, right to left, up and down, were equal. And I thought that maybe because I had loosened up the DPI settings, I wasn't noticing it, but I couldn't imagine that someone would use their mouse like this. That some people roll their mice by positioning their fingers not just slightly above the middle. As you can see, the cursor moves normally when you go slightly past the midline, but that you go all the way to the end. I guess some people rest their fingers, maybe 2, maybe 3 fingers, and roll their ball like that. And as you can see, it doesn't move laterally if you do that. Now because I move it like this, toward the center line on the ball, I don't notice that problem. So to me, this is a perfect mouse that everyone is complaining about. Because of all the complaints from places like Reddit, among others possibly, Kensington has been forced to stop selling this mouse. But congratulations. The few people who use their mouse in this weird way, I won't call it an incorrect way, but in my mind, this is a weird way of using a trackball, pushed Kensington to recall or stop selling this mouse. Maybe they'll figure out a way through software to get around this. The hardware way to fix this might be place this sensor somewhere else. Here and here, there's 2 of them. There's 2 sensors right there. And the slim ball has no problems with tracking. eFogDev Endgame mouse, which is my favorite mouse, it has 2 sensors located at approximately 8 o'clock and 4 o'clock. Endgame mouse, if I were to place my finger this funny way, the far pole also does not move laterally. As you can see. At 10 o'clock it does not move. At 2 o'clock it does not move. But at 9 o'clock it moves. At 3 o'clock it moves. At 12 o'clock it moves, and even just slightly past the midline it moves. So this Endgame mouse has the same problem that the Kensington has. Now what about this one? This is the Ploopy PCB board. eFog's any ball. Does it have the same problem? Ploopy sensor is dead center. Let's see if it has the same problem. Perfect movements. Okay. Move the trackball with 1 finger at the far pole. It moves laterally. Look at that. 10 o'clock moves laterally. 2 o'clock moves laterally. 11, 1 p.m. Yeah, so the Ploopy's PCB board does not have that problem. I don't know if it's a PCB design issue, the fact that the sensor is dead center right there. The single sensor placed that low, I believe it's the low sensor placement off the axis, off the center. I think that's what's causing this problem. Here is a precision line drawing test using eFogDev's Endgame, as you can see. So I did that with 97%. My DPI is set very high on that one. Then let's try it with a Kensington 6. %. So I can be very accurate with this, and the horizontal movement is absolutely perfect. Click speed game. The idea is hit the bullseye, just like that, and I get 10 points. Let's try 3. 1, 2, 3. Let's try. So I'm not a gamer, I'm just a 58-year-old man. Now I'm doing moving targets. So I'm not especially dexterous, but I can hit the bullseyes, as you can see. So I'm definitely not in the top 5, but I can move it accurately enough. And so I think this problem is overblown. I think that people hurt the business and themselves by canceling further sale of this very good mouse. Very good trackball. The Kensington Connect works well with it. The 20 switches and buttons. A disservice was done to the world of trackball enjoyers by having this recalled, because I don't think that blind spot in that little ovoid zone is at all a detriment to the use of this mouse. Percentage of the population feels strongly in the other direction, and I'm sure Kensington will fix this problem.